All right, we're live on there.
Hello, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 25th of April, 2019. And of course, the talk of the news is Joe Biden officially getting in the race. I must say, it's been a bit of a lackluster entry for him. And I've noticed what little I've seen of the clips of him. He seems far, far, far out of touch with today's Democratic Party. He certainly does not match the youthful vitality of most of the candidates in the race. But all will be said about Joe Biden in the next few days. If he is to be a viable candidate between now and next week, he's going to have to show an incredible ability to raise massive funding. If he falls short of incredible amounts of money coming in early, his campaign will be doomed from the start. I don't know for sure how he's going to play financially. I know they worked hard within the Democratic hierarchy, the structure, to typically have the Hillary bankroll, which is an elite group of donors that basically own the party. You know, guys, I've told you for years, tried to tell you for years, that money doesn't mean anything if you won't sell your vote. And I think the shock to Joe Biden, possibly even to the Democratic Party structure, old structure, is that money may not buy him in this time. Joe Biden, honestly, looking at his announcement, what little of it I've seen, looking at what little coverage there has been of him as after he's been announced, he's kind of gone a couple of places. Joe Biden looks old. He looks old. And I don't think that's going to play well with this new youthful enterprise of the Democratic Party today. I also don't think that him trying to run a reasonably pragmatic campaign, being that he is old enough, politically astute enough, to see the mistakes that these young Democrats supposedly have made. I say a mistake, but it may end up not being. But right now, I would say it's a mistake in the fact that they have so openly revealed their association and connection with socialism. He's going to try to turn that back. He's going to try to tone it down. Once again, he will be full-throated in support of programs, and has been, by the way, of programs that are absolutely socialism in reality. You can call it something else, but it is what it is. But I think he's going to have a hard time against the younger, more aggressive socialists in the campaign. And above all else, he's going to have trouble with Bernie Sanders. You know, I'm amazed when they talk about Biden. The main complaints that I have seen and heard are that he's old and that he's a long-time politician, never made a payroll, never really worked in the private sector. not considered a viable candidate for today's Democratic Party. Yet, they seem to support Bernie Sanders. And need I remind everybody, Bernie Sanders is no spring chicken either. He's old. And he has been for forever on the government dole. That's all he's ever done. But since he is talking this new socialist, communist way of being, he seems to have avoided the old image that Joe Biden's going to have to fight through. It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting in the Democratic Party how they cut each other up. And I suppose they will. That's typical in primaries, especially in a race where there are 20 candidates now. Each one of those candidates have got to do one thing. They have got to buy media time, media attention. And since we're all talking basically the same brand new Green Deal, and all talking the same sweeteners or giveaways to buy votes, about the only thing left for them to do to stand out and to try to get media attention is being overtly critical of the opponents. And so the game now, I believe, will be this. Whoever sits in the number one, possibly the number two, maybe even the number three, whoever in the early days are sitting in those seats, according to the polls, will be bludgeoned by those down the ranks. You know, isn't it funny that guy, O'Rourke, Beto O'Rourke, oh, he was so much of something, right? This hot new thing. You notice he's disappeared. He's running. He's disappeared. He doesn't even exist. The one that I find weird is Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren still tracks in probably the top 5 or 6. But she's nothing. Nothing. She's not young. She's been caught beating the system, claiming she was 25% Indian and getting all the benefits of that when she wasn't. But she's still there. Give an example of what she's done. She's the one that went out first and introduced paying off all college loans. Just her paying off all college loans took her from like 6% in the polls compared to the rest. Overnight, she went to 21%. Overnight. Basically overnight, of course, not literally overnight. But that shows you the power of the sweetener. They're all pushing it, but she came out with it first, so she gets credit for it. It's going to be big time interesting to see how these people tear each other up in this primary. And they have to. That's the only way they'll have of gaining attention from the media. Anytime you have a race for the presidency in a primary where you've got 16 to 20 or whatever large number of candidates, the pack clears out fairly early. And you've got the strong ones and you've got the rest. And it becomes almost impossible for the rest to gain any kind of notoriety. So the only shot, and some of these others that I don't even know who you are, the only shot they're going to have to get media attention is attacking the front runners in the biggest, most newsworthy way. It will be interesting. Very interesting. On the border front, told you yesterday, he's going to do 2 more executive order programs. If they stick, if they don't, if they're shut down by the courts, he fully intends to close the border. I've been informed that they're waiting right now on the 9th District on one of the appeals or one of the things that he's done that they put a stay on. I can't tell you that I know exactly which one it was. I haven't sat down looking at it, but it has to do with one of his initiatives on the border. So we'll see how that is handled by the 9th Circuit. If it is firmly put down, Trump may not go through the process of 2 more times trying, due to the number of people that they now are aware are coming. Apparently there's several hundred coming up on trains. There's another large group coming in a caravan. And it looks like both of those groups are planning for a mad rush confrontation. So President Trump may be forced to move faster with a more aggressive initiative on the border. You know, you just have to think about it, guys. What would happen if you take a piece of the border, not one of the major crossing points, let's just say a place presently that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and they load up about 10,000. They all come there. And at one time, there's 10,000 rushes across the border. What do you think would happen? The most border patrol that could probably be put together that quickly to challenge it, it would be lucky if the border patrol could find 100 people that they could bring forward. They will probably be smart and pick a state, a border crossing in a state that the governor refuses to cooperate with their National Guard, allowing them to participate. But even if the National Guard is involved, the National Guard, let's say they send 1,000, which would be a significant group. Maybe they send 2,000. So now you've got, let's say, 2,200 people squaring off against 10,000. And a 10,000 rush. What happens? What comes from that? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want it to happen. Because I don't believe in reality. It can come out good. Border Patrol, people trying to block them, of course, will have tear gas. They'll have certain weapons that they can use. But nothing in any way that could pose much of a difficulty to that many people in a mad dash across the border. And then imagine 10,000 coming across the border. Let's say they stop 1,000 of them, which would be lucky. You got 9,000 mad dash across the border. They're here. Now this is going on at the same time. We know we've got one-way ticket terrorists, jihadists, trying to penetrate this country, coming in to blow us up. I wonder if any of them will be in that pile. It's a scary thought. The whole border is scary today. The necessity of affirmative action from our Congress to shut that damn border down has got to come. Because we're going to be too late if we're not already. I think it's going to get down, to be honest. I think when everything is said and done, it's going to get down to how many American lives are going to have to be lost needlessly as a result of our southern border until the American people finally wake up and put pressure where pressure must be on Congress to do their job. Stop playing gotcha. To stop trying to stop President Trump at all costs. How many American lives will it take? It's a scary thought. Very scary. I know this. That the Democrats finally, some Democrat leader, can't tell you who it was, but he finally came out and admitted it. This leader of the Democratic Party, or a high person in the Democratic Party, just yesterday said, in a mistake, I'm sure he wishes he could take the statement back, but that the Democrats simply plan to use impeachment as a club, essentially, to beat on Trump during the campaign. He knew, said he knew, or that they know, that the reality is nothing would come from the impeachment. They can use it to beat up Trump during the campaign, just as we've talked about since day one. That's what they intend to do. Anytime you mix the judicial enterprise with the political enterprise, political always wins. Always. So they're going to use passively, bouncing in and out of using words that connect to law, although they will not be law, but they'll throw words in and out to make sure that their base believes that President Trump is guilty of some crime yet to be identified. Already they say that President Trump objecting to any of his people going before Nadler or Schiff or any congressional committee by them sending out subpoenas. He's already declaring they're not going to respond to any subpoenas. None. And I agree. He has no business allowing his people that have already been drilled for 2 solid years by one of the most aggressive, one of the most effective tactical hit teams in the prosecutorial world. There's no way anything's going to come out of it at all good. So he should fight it. But once again, as we discussed yesterday and have talked before, bad news there is our entire judicial system is social. It's been socialized. So when he denies letting his people respond to the subpoenas, Nadler then will take it to court. And of course, when it goes to court, it'll go to a rigged court trying to give a ruling to make him do it. So beware, that's a fight coming. But we should all stand in support of President Trump. He should not allow his personal attorneys, his staff, he should not allow anybody anymore, certainly having to do with Congress, certainly having to do with the democratically controlled House and their committees, he should not allow them to participate at all, ever again. Over, zip, done. Done. For if he does, just as Mueller did with his hit team, the prosecutors, they set up one perjury trap after another. Got people like Flynn, got people, several of the people that they have prosecuted, they caught them in traps, perjury traps. If Trump's people go before the House committees, they will be walking into pure 100% perjury traps, designed to do one thing and one thing only: bust them up. He should not allow them to go. And he should fight it till the end. Now, the good news about fighting it, even if the courts are going to be rigged against you, that fight will be so prolonged that I doubt there could possibly be resolution, legal resolution, I doubt, before 2020 campaign. I think he can delay it that long, even with a rigged and stacked court. But we'll have to help him, because the Democrats will use the fact that he refuses to let them testify for, the House congressional committees, that too is obstructing justice. But let me make it clear to you, under law, protecting their rights and the legal principles that our Constitution sets forth for all of us cannot be made obstruction of justice. You can't. You have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to claim foul when you believe the government prosecutors are violating your rights. And he will exercise that. But he'll need our help, because it will be made to look bad. Now, does anybody have any questions? Get them in quickly.
Yeah, we got quite a few, Larry.
All right, let them rip.
Okay, let me get up to the top. What's your take on the North Korea summit drama? And the South China Sea ordeal is getting worse. Why did we give Duterte new technology rockets when he's in bed with China?
Look, South China Sea, I don't know. That is a move with China. China trying to strengthen its position. I personally don't have any involvement in that, so I can't really give you an educated opinion about the summit between Kim Jong-un and Russia. He's doing that simply to try to put a little reverse English, little reverse pressure on Trump. But from what I have gathered, it hadn't gone that well for him. He expected to have support from Putin to resist the denuclearization of his country, and Putin wouldn't do it. Putin wants him to shut down his nuclear operation, just as we do, because Putin knows the same thing we know. Kim Jong-un is a wild card, that if he goes popping off any of his nukes in a fit of rage, a crazy moment, it lights up the whole world. So no, he's not getting anywhere. What's the next one, ma'am?
Will Trump declare a national emergency at the border? Why don't you just go ahead and shut the border down and send more than a few troops, activate the militia to help, and add sanctions?
Well, the point is, as I tried to make yesterday, closing the border totally is a last resort. It seems on face like that's the way to go. Just shut it down and stop this madness before it gets out of control even worse. The problem is you have economic ramifications that are dangerous to us. You know, it's one thing to have the border on fire, illegal immigrants coming through left and right, but you got to be careful and not put a major hit on our economy right now. We're just now starting to see some movement with the economy getting better because we finally have a president that has some business acumen that actually knows what it takes to make an economy run. Close to that border can cause major economic damage. Major economic damage. So it is a measure of last resort. But when he does, if he does, he will bring forces to bear that I assure you he will not need militia. If the president declares a national crisis, national emergency on the border, and fully shuts the border down, he will move enough troops and materials and equipment in to do the job. That, I promise you. What's next?
Somebody's thinking it's going to take the American people to rise up.
It is. It truly is.
And please explain.
But we've got to rise up with wisdom. With wisdom. Not in a bit of rage. With wisdom. By that I mean, we've got to make 60% of Trump's base rise up, stand firm, commit to do their job, commit that no matter what, they're going to go out and vote. I gave y'all the numbers yesterday. The numbers are scary. I probably shouldn't have given them to you. The participation of the vote, 85 to 95%, that is significant and it is scary. That's what it's going to take. Yeah.
Okay, when are they going to start outing the corrupt politicians? It needs to start. Then we need to start outing them and hold them accountable.
Y'all probably won't believe me. But it has started. It has already started. And I can tell you it has started in a way that I would have never dreamed would have happened that aggressively. Even though you don't see it necessarily every day on the news, it started. You know, I've told y'all before, Sean Hannity, rightly or wrongly, has been granted the ability to kind of be the point man for what's going on with the administration. And I think if you watch him, you will see him telling you the same thing I am, except he's being a little more aggressive than I'm willing to be. And he's telling that it's coming. And I assure you, he knows what he's talking about. He may not know what he's talking about, but he knows his sources are telling him the truth. You're going to have the most incredible number of high-ranking, high-level people in this nation's history being indicted and prosecuted. This will make a Saturday Night Massacre, the Night of the Long Knives, look like kid stuff. They're going all the way. They're getting all the players. They're building the cases. And it's coming. It is coming. I don't know exciting because you want to be included and know everything that's going on. You want to know who they're going after and what they're going after them with and how they're going after them. But I'm not at liberty to say, even if I knew, I couldn't tell you. Or even knowing, I can't tell you. But I will tell you this. They're already starting. They have started. And I'll tell you something else. Some of the major players have started lawyering up. And as I think I've told you before, a few, 6, half a dozen, not necessarily the highest level players, but integral players in the coup are offering proffers. They're trying to make deals now. Barr is playing it smart. He's giving these people time to sweat. And anybody that's involved in that coup, if they're smart, at some point coming up in the next few weeks or a couple of months, they're going to come to the realization that they better protect and cover their butts. And they better do whatever they got to do to cover themselves, or they will go down with the whole ship. And as is the rule in politics, the little guys always take it on the chin harder than the big ones. Hang on, it's coming. I promise you, it is coming. What you got?
Do we need to start holding rallies?
You always need to hold rallies. But what I wish y'all would hold at this time, right now, during this moment in time, in this, I guess you would say, lull before the storms. The storms are coming. What I'd like to see is us emulate, again, what was done with the Clinton Chronicles. A lot of people would gather, a couple of 3 couples to their houses on a weekend for kind of a little get-together party and talk and share what you're hearing here, to talk about what's going on. Get these small gatherings, folks. That's how we talk to people. That's how we get to people. And know this. There's no sense inviting to a tea party or a cocktail party, whatever you're going to throw. There's no sense inviting somebody that absolutely thoroughly hates Trump. You're not going to convert them. You're not. What you're looking for are people that you talk with that are of like minds. That's who we got to rally. We got to find all of us that are of like mind. We got to all get on the same page. That's what we got to do. And it should start now. Summer's coming on. You can have a barbecue, a cookout. Just get people over and share the truth. Don't go out bringing people over and talking about this stuff and introducing all these wild conspiracy things on the internet. Don't do that. Scott Graham.
Okay, who will Hillary back for the Democrat nominee?
I don't know. I don't believe. When I say I don't believe, I don't know. It's a better way to say it. I don't know what Democrat running right now for the presidency would want Hillary's endorsement. I don't know. I can't see any of them, except maybe Biden, benefiting from Hillary's public endorsement. Now, they all want her connection to the big money. No doubt about that. But I don't think any of them want her to endorse it. Right now, her brand is low. Her money is powerful. But her name brand is bad low. And the more these investigations start coming out, you'll see people trying to distance themselves away from Hillary. I get close to her, ask for her support in her public announcement. Like I say, they all want her connection to the money. They don't any part of the brain.
Okay, next one. Mueller left it up to Barr to press charges for conspiracy. Barr said he's not going to charge Trump with conspiracy. Is that correct?
That's correct. Well, actually, Mueller told Barr that through his investigation, he found no evidence, hard evidence of conspiracy. You got it? He made the decision for Barr in the fact that after 2 years of investigation and all that they did, he's telling Barr there is no evidence to prosecute President Trump for conspiracy. There is no evidence. So Barr has no choice but not to prosecute for that. By the way, nor does he have any choice of not prosecuting for obstruction of justice. Mueller did find they could not find any evidence of obstruction of justice committed by Trump or his campaign or staff or team. He did find that. So therefore, any prosecution for Trump for obstruction of justice is eliminated. But they put the political little spin to serve it up to Congress by saying, nor could they prove he was innocent either.
Could we?
Mueller's report, just so y'all know, Mueller's report, close the door legally. Legally, close the door on any further action from the judicial system, from prosecutors or whatever, against Trump for conspiracy, collusion, or obstruction of justice. It's over. It's done. What the House is going to do has nothing to do with the law. Nothing. Go ahead.
Could we see a battle between Obama and Hillary to see whose puppet will get elected as the nominee?
I don't think so. I think very soon Hillary and Obama are going to be battling to try to save their hides. They're going to try to protect themselves from prosecution more than they're going to be worried, to be honest, about this campaign. The only thing they've got to see happen, both Hillary and Obama, they have got to do whatever is required. Whoever becomes a Democratic nominee, both of those people have to do everything and more within their power to see that whoever gets the nomination defeats Trump, for they are some.
Wow.
I will tell y'all this. I am told, that's all I can say, I am told that President Trump, has made it clear if Hillary or Obama, if evidence bears out that they were involved in the coup, he wants them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So anybody that thinks he's not going to go after them, or that he's going to do anything to try to block Laura from going after them, you're wrong. Somebody's lying to you. Somebody is lying. The jig is up with Trump. He's done. He's done. Stick a fork in him. It's over.
What do you think about what Hillary said yesterday about Trump?
What she said about him in relation to the little things she said, where she said anybody that had been, those 10 or 11 items in the Mueller report, that had been anybody else other than the president that'd be indicted. That's what we're talking about.
He doesn't specify, probably.
Well, that's ridiculous. That is Clinton accusing somebody else or trying to do to somebody else what should be done to them. Transference. Pure and simple transference.
Okay, those are all the questions. There's just been some bantering back and forth on the topic, but that's it.
All right, guys, now listen to me. I need your help today. I mean it. I truly, truly do. If you can help today, please do. Whatever you can. That's important. I'm not going to say any more about it, but I am asking. I'm asking. And I'm asking for your support. I'm asking for your help. It's very critical that we get it. So if you can send anything, $1, $5, $50, $20, $500, 1,000, today of all days, please do. Please. It's important. Critical. Ma'am, have you got anything bad?
Yeah, Larry's got a big bill that's due immediately, and so anybody who can help with that, it really is important. We've had a couple other questions come in, but I think we need to just stop at this point. Go ahead.
I want to answer the question.
Okay. Will mainstream media puppets get justice?
The only justice they're going to get when all is said and done, if we win, they will be destroyed. They will have destroyed themselves. They will. Now, the ones that have got to worry are networks like MSNBC and CNN. Those 24-hour news programs are already hurting for advertisers. They're hurting for money. Now, the bad news is they're supported and owned by Disney and companies that can ride off to debt forever. But I'm telling you, they are in jeopardy. That's how they'll get their justice. Now, if any of them have gone too far with some of the people involved in the Mueller investigation and have committed slander of libel, you can bet your bottom dollar people are coming after them and going to come after them. They better get their checkbooks open because they're going to be paying some hellacious judgments. But remember, they got one thing going for them that makes them not be as afraid as they should be. They know the courts are rigged. But I still think they're going to have to pay damages to people like Papadopoulos and others. They are. What's the other question, Raylan?
Do you think the Democrats are trying to use the illegals crossing the border to start a civil war before the election?
I don't know that I would use the word civil war before the election. But I believe they're trying to use them as cause to divide us. And remember, by dividing us, they conquer us. And I believe they're doing that. You can bet they're using those illegals coming across the border to their benefit. We haven't seen yet the result, the damage of all of this massive immigration movement on our southern border. We haven't seen it yet. Lord, it's coming. I mean, folks, just think about it. They get all of the illegals in this country just to stand together and fight, this nation will be torn apart. That's what I fear. They get all of those illegals in this country to stand up and pick up a rock. I'm scared of that. That destroys our country. Pray it don't happen. Anything else?
Yeah, what do you think about Biden running?
To be honest, Joe Biden is fighting the one thing that hurts politicians, especially those that have climbed to high levels of power, being irrelevant. Joe Biden is trying to make a last-ditch effort to be relevant in a world that has gone past him. He had his day in the sun. It's over. To some degree, I would pity him, feel sorry for him. Except I can't, because of what he has done to our nation. You know, part of being a good Christian is to forgive. We can't forgive, we can't be forgiven. That rule always puts me in the penalty box. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't forgive people that have maliciously tried to destroy the greatest nation on earth. I can't do it. I'm trying. Well, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm not even trying. I can't do it. But Joe Biden, I've known him for years and years and years. He's a good guy to sit and have a drink with, and spend the night drinking and eating and having a good time. He's a great guy. Great guy to do that. But then again, so is Bill Clinton. But you can't discount the fact that they have tried their very best to destroy America. And remember, Joe Biden was a major player in Obamacare. It was Joe Biden that Obama used to roughhouse all the Democratic members of Congress. He was the one that strong-armed the Democratic members of Congress to pass that health care bill, even though they had not read it. He's the one. So anyway, what else you got?
That's it. Just another question. He said, sorry about so many questions, but I just am trying to figure out what to do to save the country. Folks, it is important that we talk to other people, find other like-minded people. We need to be unified. Those of us that are conservative, those of us that are Christian, those of us that support Trump. And if you find other conservative Christians who are iffy on Trump, then we need to convince them that the alternative is socialism. We don't want that. We have to reelect Trump if we want to save this country. So work very hard at finding other like-minded people, talk to them, and grow the numbers. Try and find a candidate that we can support who will run under Never Socialism and get their contact information to us. It's a big assignment, but that's what we need.
Remember, like-minded people that Mary Ellen and I are talking about, those people are the base of Trump. We're the base. And the reason we want you talking to them is to instill in them the importance of this year, no matter what they hear, no matter what is thrown at them from the media. They must vote. They have to vote. If it's storming, if it's sleeting, if it's snow, whatever, they got to vote. That's what you've got to convince them.
And if you have access, go ahead.
You know, that like-minded person that we're talking about is that person in the soft base that I've been telling you about. That's part of the 60% soft base.
If you have contact with people who are here illegally and you can speak their language and communicate with them, then you need to find out how socialistic was the country they left. Do they want to just jump out of the frying pan into the fire of socialism here? If they want socialism, then they're going to vote Democrat. But if they don't want socialism here, if they want freedom to continue, then you need to let them know that if they vote for a Democrat, they will have what they had back home or worse.
You said illegal's not supposed to be voting, so you meant legal immigrants that are here, I think.
I'm talking about the illegals that are being told they're allowed to vote.
Oh, well, they're being lied to, I hope. I don't think there's any way between now and the 2020 election. I could be wrong, so don't hold me to it. But I don't think there's a way between now and the 2020 election they're going to be able to participate in a national election, not be able to get involved in state elections depending on the state, but not in the federal election. I don't believe.
Well, they will know people who are here legally too, who are of the Hispanic community and so on. So we need to be preparing for the elections and talking among others so that we have others that we know we can unify with. And so that's the important part is we need to be talking to people.
All right, guys, that's it for today. But I do need your help immediately, urgently. Go to PayPal, Nichols Live at AOL.com. Nichols Live at AOL.com. If you don't have PayPal, go to NicholsLive.com and see another way to get it here. And with that,
Yep, we're done. That's it. That's it.
Folks, have a good day.
All right, thanks.